All right, Shalom. All praises due to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Shalom to you brothers that's pushing this truth. I'm Karat Bar, back with another show. And this show, I'm going to be focusing on the topic of Israel ruling in the kingdom of heaven. All right, because that's who the kingdom of heaven is for. It's only for the nation of Israel. It's not for any other nation. All right. And you have these Christians, they believe that in the kingdom of heaven, all nations is going to be ruling together. But that's not scriptural. Okay. When you go through the prophetic scriptures, only the nation of Israel is going to be ruling in the kingdom of heaven. The other nations will be in the kingdom, but they will be slaves. All right. They have a time period of serving slavery, which is 1,000 years in the kingdom of heaven, okay? And then after that 1,000-year period, that's when the nation is going to be set free. But they're going to still have to, follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and still going to have to reverence us, all right? But only the nation of Israel will be ruling, okay? They're going to be ruling over the nations, and we're going to be kings and priests unto them. So, the first scripture I want to get into, let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to Daniel 7. Daniel 7 and 18, and it reads, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." Right? So the saints is going to take the kingdom and possess it forever. And who are the saints? The saint. Everybody can't be a saint. You will have to be of the nation of Israel to be a saint. And that's in the book of Psalms. Gather saints. Psalms 50 and 5. It reads, "Gather my saints unto me, those that I have made a covenant with by sacrifice." So the saints is Israel, all right? The ones who the Most High made a covenant with is with the nation of Israel, no other nation. Saint meaning holy or sanctified, all right? And the children of Israel was made separate from the other nations, all right? The Most High have not dealt with any other nations, as it says in the book of Psalms. Okay, so the saints are Israelites. So the saints is going to possess the kingdom, which are Israelites. Ain't no other nation fits in that. All right, and when we get the kingdom, we're going to be ruling over the nations, and they're going to serve us, which Yahweh Shah is going to give that power to us when he returns. Let's get Book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 26, and it reads, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." Right? So the ones that overcome, the Israelites that's in the faith and believe on Yahweh Shah, and the ones that endure unto the end, they're going to be delivered. They're going to be saved. They're going to receive salvation and power. All right? And they're going to be set up as rulers in the kingdom. So it says, "To him that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." Yeah. And these are the Israelites. And Lord willing, with the elect, we're going to get power over the nations to rule over them. It says, "And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As a vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even have I received of my Father." Right? And Yahweh shall receive power over the nations from the Most High when you read the book of Psalms chapter 2. So when Yahweh shall returns, he's going to give that power to rule over the nations to his elect, the elect of Israel. So in the kingdom, the nations, they're going to be ruled over. All right? They're going to be ruled over. They're going to have to serve the Israelites. They're going to be slaves. And they're going to be ruled, they're going to be broken as a pot as an iron rod, when you break a potter. That's an act of violence, man. That's an act of destruction, which we're going to bring upon the nations. All right? Real quick, let's get the book of Daniel, chapter 2. Daniel chapter 2, verse 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, and this is the kingdom of heaven, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. Right, so this is prophecy. Scripture said the kingdom shall not be left to other people. Why? Because the kingdom is only for Israel. All right? It clearly tell you in the book of Acts, 5th chapter, Yahushua, he died for the sins of the nation of Israel. All right? Salvation is only for the Lord's people. So this kingdom is not going to be left to other people, meaning the kingdom of heaven is not for all nations to rule. The kingdom of heaven is for the nation of Israel to rule, and the nations to, serve us. Okay? But it says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. See, it's going to break in pieces these other kingdoms. And that's what Yahushua coming back to do. Scripture said he had many crowns on his head. He's going to take these other nations out of their power. All right? And when we get into power, we're going to rule these nations with a rod of iron. We're going to break them. We're going to destroy them. Okay? Because they have to get paid back for what they have done into the nation of Israel. They have to get paid back for putting us in slavery, ruling us with a rod of iron. All right? Beating, destroying us, taking our land. So these nations, they have to get paid back for what they have done unto us. All right? I believe that's in Jeremiah. Let's see if I can find it. I believe it's chapter 30. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and they that preyed upon thee will I give for a prey. That's right. So in the kingdom of heaven, all these nations, they preyed upon us. They destroyed us. So we're going to destroy them. We're going to prey upon them. We're going to put them in captivity. All right. You read about some of the captivities throughout the scriptures. The Babylonian captivity, Assyrian captivity, Egypt, under the so-called white man. All right. And throughout history, all these nations had a hand in putting us in captivity. So they have to go into captivity. All right. This is all prophecy. And the Most High is not a man that he shall lie. So you have people that believe that the kingdom of heaven is going to be for all nations. No, then that's not according to prophecy. And that would make the Most High a liar. And the Most High is not a liar. So these nations, they're going to serve captivity in the kingdom of heaven. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 60. Isaiah chapter 60. let's go to 61. Isaiah 61, and I start from verse 4, and it reads, "And they shall build the old waste. They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolation of many generations." Right? So our kingdom is going to be built back up. The ruins of the land that's in the land of Israel is going to be restored. All right? And the heathens are the ones that's going to build our land back up, build our mansions, our cities. Okay? Verse 5, "And the strangers shall stand and feed your flock, and the sons of aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers." Right? So the heathens, they're going to be our plowmen and vine dressers. So they're going to serve us. Okay? They're the ones that's going to cultivate the land and, grow the crops and everything, build up our walls. They're going to do all that. We're not going to ever work again. All right? We are not going to ever labor again. The nations are going to labor for us. All right? Same way how we had to labor for them. They're going to labor for us in our kingdom. Let's go to Micah. Micah 4. Micah 4:1. "But in the last days it shall come to pass, the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow into it." Yes, so this mountain is represent the nation of Israel, which is going to be established in the earth. "And many nations shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the Most High, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem." Right? So the nations, they're going to have to learn of our ways. They're going to have to learn of the Lord's statutes, commandments. All right? Because we're going to be the kings and priests, and we're going to have to teach the nations how to serve the Lord. Verse 3, "And he shall judge among the people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their plowshares into swords," or Slakia. "They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into puny hooks." Right? So the nations, they're not going to, let's continue reading. "Nation shall not lift up a sword again against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." So the nations, in our kingdom, these nations are not going to be warring, and their swords and their swords going to be turned into plowshares. Okay, meaning they're no longer going to pick up any weapons of war, but the only instruments they're going to be picking up is like instruments for agriculture. All right, tools for them to work. So this represents slavery. Okay. So that's what the nations is going to work in our kingdom. "But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. In the mouth of the Lord of hosts have spoken it." Yeah, so this represents peace. All right, sitting under the vine and under the fig tree. Yeah, because Israel is going to be dwelling peacefully. All right. Let's go to book of Isaiah 60. We can end on this. Isaiah 60. I'll start from 10. "The sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and the kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I will have mercy on thee." So the sons of strangers, They're going to build up our walls. They're going to build up our kingdom, our mansions and things of that nature. All right? And they're going to have to serve us. So just how the Most High smote us, he smote us by putting us in captivity under these nations. And we had to build up their kingdoms. So now these nations are going to have to build up our kingdom. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night. That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Right? So these nations, they're going to have to bring to us their resources, their natural resources, their riches, their gold, their silver, whatever land resources they have. They're going to have to bring all that stuff to us. All right? For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Right? And the nations that want to rebel, they're going to be put to death. All right? They're going to receive punishment. They're going to receive destruction. They're going to have to do everything that we tell them to do. And if they, rebel, then the judgment comes. Okay? Yeah, so, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so in the kingdom of heaven, these nations, they got a rude awakening, all right? Especially these people that's in Christianity. They got a rude awakening because they think when the Lord comes back that everybody's going to dwell peacefully together. All nations going to dwell peacefully together. But that's not so. When the Lord comes back, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, these nations are going into captivity under the nation of Israel. All right, which the nation of Israel, starting with the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.